Hey guys, welcome back to Balareso Capital. On today's episode, we're going to go through the weekly watch list and we are also going to take a look at the market update. I know that I didn't do a video last week. That's because I got a new pet and I was kind of busy for the weekend. So right now I'm back. So we're going to go through the weekly watch list and the market update. And I'm looking to get back into the videos, into the educational videos, so that we can continue to cover more of the things and the tools that I use on a daily basis for my trading. So expect soon some new videos for the 50 daily moving average and also the 200 daily moving average, and then we're gonna continue to build some more momentum going forward. So once again, thank you guys for being here. Remember, if you haven't done that already, make sure to like and subscribe, and also follow me on my Twitter account at Balareso Capital. In the account, I post my monthly stats for my trading on a monthly basis, so make sure to check those. Currently I'm up for this year in my swing trading account, more than 20%, somewhere around 22%. So you can check all those stats on Balareso Capital on my Twitter account, and I also share more things like my winning percentage, the number of trades that I'm taking, the risk reward of my trades, the profit factor. Also, you can see the average winning trades, the average losing trades, so you can get a lot of information, and I can also inspire you to know what kind of information you're gonna put also on your trading journal. So now that we got all that covered, let's jump directly into the charts. I'm gonna start here with the QQQ. And the reason that I'm gonna start here with the QQQ is because I think that this is the leading sector at the moment. So I think that our focus should be on the leading sector. So here's the mindset behind it. So whenever I'm looking at the market, I'm looking at the path of least resistance. So in this case, the path of least resistance continues to be to the upside. So if the path of least resistance in the general market continues to be to the upside, then we want to focus on what are the leading stocks that are following that path of least resistance. So on the other side, let's say hypothetically, if the market is going down and the path of least resistance is to the downside, then we want to focus on what is the leading sector to the downside, so that we can trade those stocks. So now that the path of least resistance is to the upside, let's focus on the stocks that are actually leading that move. So we're gonna start here with the QQQ. So first of all, if we take here at the Qs, and this is something that I want to talk to you guys about, this indicator that I have on the bottom is basically the final. Is basically like the final result of all the all the analysis and research that I have been doing on momentum. One of the things that you most of the times don't see on the price action is actually what is the momentum below all that price action. So it's really important to actually have an indicator that covers that momentum, because you can only see price action if you look at the price chart, which is okay, right? We want to look at price action because price action is actually what actually pays you, right? So it's very, very important to cover that. However, I have been doing a lot of analysis, a lot of research in momentum, and the indicator that I have in the bottom is basically the final result of all the other indicators that I have been creating. So probably if you go back in my videos, you're gonna see kind of a different version of this indicator, right? But it's basically the same one. The difference with this one is that now I have more basically I have more information of what is actually momentum doing, and that increases the probability that I'm gonna be on the right side of the market. So just as a summary, I'm gonna make sure to do an entire video about this indicator, but just in summary, so that you understand what I'm looking when we go through the charts. Basically, when we have a green background, that means that the momentum favors more upside, and when I have a red background, like the one I have here, then momentum favors more downside. Now you can see that I have a basically kind of a light green and I have a dark green. Basically the light green means that we have both the basically kind of the long-term momentum and the short-term momentum positive. So that usually means that we're gonna see some very strong move to the upside, and we expect the 8 exponential moving average and the 21 exponential moving average to act as support. And when we have a dark background, we expect more consolidation, which is basically what we're seeing. You can see that we actually start somewhere around here, you can see that we have kind of the dark background, and you can see that we have been on consolidation mode after this very strong move when we have a green background. So basically, when we have this dark background, we are expecting consolidation or even some deeper pullbacks. But overall, we are expecting the 50 daily moving average to continue to hold. And in this case, you can see that we only came to the 30 daily moving average, and now we're breaking to the upside. So this is actually pretty bullish. You can see that we don't have yet a green background. So that makes me think that we're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback. And the place that I'm looking for that pullback is right here into this demand zone. You can see right here that I have the arrow. So I'm looking for a little pullback there, and then of course I'm looking for continuation to the upside. The target continues to be 330. So that continues to be the target in the QQQs. I think this is very strong, and you can see that we actually have a squeeze, and we basically have a squeeze, price action, and we have momentum on our side. So at this moment, we just want to be very, very careful. We don't want to buy things that are extended. So we want to buy as close to that 8 exponential moving average or that 21 exponential moving average as possible. What is very important to note is that if we go back here a little bit, you can see right that we have this gap open. This gap open comes at 322.86. So I'm expecting a little bit of pause after filling that gap. So I'm looking, let's see, we get this little slight pullback before continuation to the upside. I think that on May we're going to have a strong continuation to the upside. So we want to play it, and we want to play it right. So that's basically what I'm seeing in the QQQ. And now let's jump directly into the ISIC, and this is basically the ticker for the Nasdaq Composite in TradingView. And what is really amazing is that we have a textbook. This is literally a textbook cup and handle setup. You can see right here that we have the cup, we have the handle, and of course we have positive momentum. We also have a squeeze, and you can see that price action continues to make higher lows. So what exactly does higher lows mean? Basically, higher lows means that the sellers, that whoever is selling this level right here is losing basically the battle between the buyers and the sellers. And you can see that buyers are getting more aggressive as they continue to push the price toward that resistance level. And once that resistance level breaks, we usually tend to see really strong moves to the upside. So what are going to be the targets? Basically, the target is going to be somewhere around 12,600 to 12,700, and you can see that we have a strong level of supply, and you can see that we also have a Fibonacci extension. The Fibonacci extension is the 1.272 extension measured from this high right here to this low right here, and you can see that that's the extension that I'm looking for. Now, if we happen to see a slight pullback next week into this demand zone, I think that's going to be the opportunity before the continuation to the upside. So be really aware of it and be ready, because I think that after this strong consolidation that we had on April, basically for the entire month, the market is now ready. And you can actually see right here, let me point this out. You can actually see right here that we had this consolidation box, but what is really interesting is that we had this shakeout. You can see the shakeout that we had to the 50 daily moving average, and usually very strong moves come after we have that shakeout, because a lot of people have their stops right here. You shake those people out, and now you basically go back to the supply level to try again. So that's actually a very strong pattern. And now let's jump into the watch list. Let's make this we don't want to make this video very long. So the first name in the watch list is going to be the TQQQ. Basically, in my opinion, playing the TQQQ is one of the best ways to get a lot of exposure to the market. And you can see basically that we have the same setup as the QQQ. So that's very important to understand. You can see right here that we have the positive momentum. You can see that we have the shakeout, and you can see right now that we're testing the supply level once again. And of course, the perfect entry is going to be wait for a little pullback into that 8 exponential into this demand zone before having a continuation to the upside. And then of course, the target is going to be whatever the TQQQ is when the QQQ is at 330. So I'm thinking that that's probably going to be the TQQQ somewhere around 30, and that's going to be a really nice trade if we are able to get it somewhere around this level, which is the plan for next week. So it's going to be for the TQQQ. Let me jump into the other names. I have them right here. So the next name, And I also share all of these setups. I also share all of these setups in my Twitter account, so you can also watch. You can also see, if you don't get time to see the video, you can also just go through my feed. I post all the setups, I post the names and the levels and everything. So the next name, this is actually the FNGU. So this is actually the FANG index, and this is the 3x leverage ETF. So basically the reason is that we have seen a lot of strength in Meta, Netflix, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon. So we're seeing a lot of strength. And one of the easiest ways to participate kind of in the entire move, this one also has NVIDIA, by the way. One of the easiest way to participate in kind of that mega cap move is using this microsector FANG index 3x leverage ETF. So basically you can see right here that we're breaking above this DTL. And if we happen, you can see that we're coming right into supply. So I'm expecting a little bit of a pullback because we had a really strong move to the upside. Maybe we can get a little bit of a pullback into the supply zone, into this DTL. Then I'm expecting a continuation to the upside. So basically the entry zone, you can see it right here. I have everything. I have the demand zone. You can see the arrow. And then of course the target is going to be the first extension. This extension is from this high to this low right here. That's going to be the first target. And then the ultimate target I'm gonna be looking for is gonna be this 111.40, which is basically a gap that we haven't closed yet. So that's basically the pattern that I'm looking for this leverage 3x ETF. And then we have Google. Google is looking absolutely fantastic. This is actually Google is in one of the leading sectors of the markets right now. One of the leading groups, and you can also see that Google has been holding amazingly. So you can see right here the cup and handle, right? You can see the higher lows, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. That means that buyers are getting more aggressive against the sellers that are at this level. So that's actually a pretty clean pattern. You can also see this anchor VWAP. If we anchor a VWAP from this low right here, you can see that anchor VWAP held at this level right here and also held at this level right here, which also increases the probability of a continuation. What I love about Google is that we don't have earnings anymore because earnings already passed. Their reaction was good. And you can see right here that momentum is positive. You can see that we have some really nice distance between the black line and the zero line, which increases the probability for more upside. And then as for the entry level, you can see, I think that you can get involved in Google around these levels. And then of course the target is going to be the extensions up here. Those are going to be the final target. And of course, the first target is going to be 110.95. We also have a gap open and we have a Fibonacci extension at those levels. And of course, looking for Google to keep these levels right here. So that's going to be for Google. Now let's check NVIDIA, which is looking absolutely fantastic. It's crazy to see that NVIDIA hasn't dropped, right? A lot of people have been trying to short this stock, and you can see that NVIDIA continues to move to the upside. And that is the magic of my momentum indicator, because you can see that my momentum indicator was green during the entire move to the upside. So even if we had this consolidation right here, you can see that I still had a lot of positive momentum. And this is what increases your probability of staying in a trend and basically being on the right side of the trade. So this is really, really important, and that's one of the reasons that I'm really happy with the results of the indicator. But going back to NVIDIA, you can see this consolidation box. This is actually pretty strong. You can see that we have positive momentum. We have a squeeze. We had a lot of time before earnings, so that increases the probability of a move. And then, of course, as for the entry level, if we can get a little bit test of this demand zone once again, if we happen to see a slight pullback into that demand zone, that's going to be the perfect level to grab some NVIDIA. The final target is going to be 292.75, which is a very strong supply zone. And we also happen to have that Fibonacci extension. And then of course the first target is going to be 285, and this one is looking pretty amazing. And of course, if we happen to continue to the upside, we have more supply somewhere around 310. So this one is looking great. And then the last name, this is gonna be kind of a more speculative name that I'm watching, but this one is LAMR Research Corporation. So this one is also in one of the 20 groups of the market right now. And you can see that we have a strong RS rating. We are over 92, and we have some acceptable, right? Some acceptable fundamentals as well, but most importantly, we have a really nice pattern. You can see this base that we have been forming, and what I really like about this pattern is that we have been holding this anchor VWAP for a long time, right? So you can see that someone is supporting the price right here. And you can see also that momentum is starting to turn really, really positive. We also have a squeeze. We also had earnings, and we actually had a gap on earnings. So that's actually pretty important to understand. So we had that gap on earnings. Of course, we had a little bit of pullback in the indexes, but now this is back above the 0618. And then basically I'm just looking for some continuation. Given that this is more kind of a volatile stock, grabbing this stock as close to the moving averages as possible is really, really important, and then looking for continuation into the next supply zone, which is going to be somewhere around 500.70, and that's going to offer a really nice risk reward. If you happen to get it here, perhaps having a stop below this day right here should be a really good idea for this name. So that's basically everything that I have for you guys. I think that the market is setting up pretty nicely for continuation for the month of May. We had some really strong consolidation on April. So usually when we get those kind of consolidations, the moment that those consolidations break, that means that there is an imbalance between buyers and sellers, and that's usually when the strongest moves in the market come, and that's usually when we as traders need to be ready to take advantage of those moves. So I'm expecting more upside. In summary, the expectation for this month of May is a continuation to the upside, but of course we have to be really careful as where we are gonna buy this, right? We want to buy it as close to that 8 exponential, as close to that 21 exponential as possible, and then we want to look for continuation to the upside, and of course managing risk. Remember guys that this video is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I will see you on future videos. Take care and bye bye.